Have you ever stood in front of the mirror and, in a quiet moment, asked yourself why things don't feel the way they once did? Maybe you've noticed changes in your stamina, in your energy, in your confidence during intimate moments. Perhaps you've whispered to yourself, "Why is this not working like it used to?" If you've ever had that thought, let me reassure you, you're not alone. Countless men in their 40s, 50s, 60s, and beyond, find themselves wondering the same thing. Every week, I sit with men who tell me nearly identical stories. I used to last longer. I used to feel stronger. Now I feel like I'm fading. But here's the truth. You're not fading. You're adapting. Your body is evolving. And with that evolution comes new needs. What served you well at 20 or 30 isn't always what your body requires at 50 or 60. And that doesn't mean decline. It means change. It means your body is asking you to listen more carefully, to respond with wisdom instead of frustration. I'm Dr. Isabella Rae Jane, and today I want to share something simple, natural, and profoundly effective that most men overlook. It isn't a pill. It isn't a quick fix. It isn't a prescription that forces your body into temporary performance. It's a food, a humble, earthy, everyday food, that can help restore stamina, extend endurance, and quietly rebuild confidence. If you're over 50 and you want to feel more present, more capable, and more in control in your most intimate moments, stay with me, because what I'm about to share could transform not only how you perform, but also how you feel in your own skin and how you connect with your partner. Let's start with honesty. As men age, their bodies don't suddenly break down. They shift. Testosterone levels decline gradually, which can reduce drive and slow recovery. Blood vessels lose some elasticity, making circulation less efficient. Nerves, particularly those linked to sensation and arousal, may not fire as quickly or sharply as they once did. These changes don't mean you're broken. They don't mean you're finished. They mean your body is speaking to you in a new language, one that requires a different response. Think about the challenges many men describe after 50. Finishing too soon, losing firmness halfway, taking longer and longer to get ready again. These aren't signs of failure. They're warning lights. Often they're tied to deeper issues, circulation that isn't as smooth as it used to be, nerves that aren't as sharp, and most commonly overlooked, the steady influence of diet. You would be surprised how often a man's plate works against his performance. Processed foods, excess sugar, too much alcohol, too little fresh produce. These habits constrict vessels, inflame tissues, and drain energy long before they show up as lab results. And when they do show up, they reveal themselves in the most private and vulnerable of places. Stamina, true stamina, the kind that lasts, isn't about trying harder or wishing things were different. It's biological. It's about circulation, how freely blood moves through your system. It's about oxygen delivery, whether your tissues are getting the fuel they need. It's about hormonal balance, whether testosterone and other key messengers are at levels that support desire and performance. And it's about nerve function, whether your brain and body are communicating quickly and effectively. This is why food matters so deeply. Food isn't just fuel, it's medicine. It can either heal or quietly harm. It can either strengthen your foundation or slowly erode it. So, what is this food I want you to consider? What is this overlooked ally that can help restore your stamina without side effects or pressure? It's one of the simplest, most unassuming vegetables, the beet. That's right. The humble, deep red root that's often relegated to the side of the plate or ignored altogether holds powerful potential. Inside beets are compounds called natural nitrates. These nitrates aren't just nutrients, they're precursors to something extraordinary. Nitric oxide. Nitric oxide is one of the body's most vital molecules when it comes to circulation. It signals your blood vessels to relax, to expand, to allow a freer flow of oxygen-rich blood. And blood flow is everything. It's what brings oxygen to the brain to sharpen focus. It's what powers the heart to beat with steady strength. And yes, it's what fills the penile tissue with enough blood to create firmness, stamina, and reliable performance. Every step of arousal and erection depends on blood flow. Without it, the system falters. With it, everything comes alive. When nitric oxide levels are strong, blood moves smoothly, tissues are nourished, and performance feels natural. When nitric oxide declines, as it often does with age, circulation becomes sluggish. You may notice weaker responses, shorter endurance, or diminished pleasure. That's why beets have earned the nickname nature's performance booster. They don't override your body, they restore it. They don't force an artificial reaction. They support the foundation that allows natural reactions to occur. Unlike pills that create a sudden flood of activity, often with side effects like headaches, flushing, or racing heartbeat, beets work gradually, quietly, building resilience day after day. They support not only sexual stamina but also heart health, brain clarity, and overall vitality. Men who regularly incorporate beetroot juice or roasted beets into their diet often report subtle but consistent improvements. More steady energy, brighter moods, stronger morning erections, better control, greater satisfaction. These aren't fireworks. They're the steady glow of a fire that burns evenly and reliably. Think of your blood vessels as garden hoses. In youth, they're flexible, able to expand and contract with ease. Blood flows freely, delivering oxygen wherever it's needed. With age, those hoses stiffen, they narrow, they kink. Circulation slows. Beets, through nitric oxide, help unkink the hoses. They restore flexibility. They remind your vessels how to open wide and let blood surge where it belongs. This isn't just about the bedroom. It's about feeling alive again. In your work, in your workouts, in your everyday moments. When blood moves freely, you feel sharper, lighter, more energetic. Consistency is key. Eat beets regularly, and quiet changes begin to unfold. Vessels soften. Oxygen delivery improves. Tissues become better nourished. That means not only stronger erections and more reliable performance, but also better cardiovascular resilience, improved memory, steadier moods, and deeper sleep. All of it flows together. That's the beauty of supporting your body with nature rather than fighting it with chemicals. So, how do you bring beets into your life without making it complicated? Keep it simple. Roast them. Peel and slice them. Drizzle with olive oil and herbs. And roast until tender. Their natural sweetness shines when caramelized in the oven. Add them to salads, toss them into grain bowls, or enjoy them warm as a side dish. Blend them. Half a beet with berries, lemon, and water makes a refreshing smoothie packed with antioxidants. Juice them. A small glass in the afternoon can revitalize your energy without caffeine. You don't need to eat them daily. 3 or 4 times a week is plenty to create momentum. Of course, if you're on medication for blood pressure or have kidney concerns, consult your doctor before adding concentrated beet juice. For most men, however, beets are safe, natural, and profoundly beneficial. Let me step away from the science for a moment and speak to something more personal. Struggles with performance often feel isolating. Many men keep it private, bury it under silence, avoid discussing it even with their partners. They convince themselves it's just aging, just something to accept. But the truth is, it's not something to be ashamed of. It's not a reflection of weakness. It's a signal. Your body is speaking, not to scold you, not to shame you, but to ask for care. Supporting your body isn't just about sex. It's about connection. It's about energy. It's about moving through life with presence and confidence. When you give your body what it needs, when you restore circulation, balance hormones, and nourish nerves, you don't just last longer. You rebuild trust with yourself. You bridge the gap between mind and body. You step back into your masculinity in a grounded, authentic way. That's something no pill, no shortcut can provide. So tonight when you sit down for dinner, imagine this. What if the stamina, confidence, and vitality you're seeking could begin with something as simple as a roasted beet on your plate? No gimmicks, no pressure, just a quiet act of self-respect. When you give your body nourishment, it responds. Not instantly, not like a switch flipped, but steadily, with a strength that grows deeper with time. You're not past your prime. You're evolving into a new chapter that demands patience and awareness. A gift, not a burden. Embrace this opportunity to care for your body wisely and compassionately, and it will reward you with lasting vitality. Beets symbolize a greater truth. Small, consistent choices, like a glass of juice or a mindful walk, accumulate into powerful transformation. If this resonates, know you're not alone. We offer real tools and hope, because your strength is immense, and sometimes the path back begins with something as simple as a beet. Trust your body. It's your ally waiting to be heard.